Welcome everyone, Madman bringing another RSL video. So today is actually day 2 of the Wixwell Fusion. So let's just jump right into what we have so far on a technical breakdown. Okay, as far as tournaments go, we have started with a Dragon tournament and Champion Chase has actually kicked off. So, as far as the Dragon tournament goes, it is your standard tournament points again. This is I don't know if they want to call it a hybrid or a non-traditional fusion or whatever, where you got to get the rares, level them up, make the epics, and then level them up to make the legendary. So at 2250, which is the standard point level that all dungeons have been for quite some time, instead of fragments, you are getting a rare. As far as points go, it is standard points here, right? 1 point for a 1-star artifact from Dragon, and 6 points or 20 points for a level 6, and then your bonus depending on the rarity. Typically, you're going to get the 1 point for the rare, up to an extra 9 points for mythical, so you could get 29 maximum, or mostly is 5-star that you get rares, 16 points. And of course, if you're farming, say, Dragon 20, it costs you 16 energy, and the minimum you get is a 5-star rare. So it is point per energy ratio or better on 20, and then it just falls off as you go up to 25 and into hard mode. Because you can exceed the point to energy ratio, or you can be below it. Anyway, that is Dragon Tournament and the technical breakdown to how to get the points there. Next up, Champ Chase opened up today, and it looks like we have a 3,000 point threshold to get your second rare. And on that, probably going to be pretty typical. Let's see, yeah. 10 points for rares, 250 for epic, 500 for legendary, 1,000 for mythical, and then if you're brave enough to open voids, you get 50 per rare, 350 for epic, and 650 for legendary. So if you got some voids saved away, great, like say Doom Tower or whatever, that's all great there. If you can fuse Broadmaw, that's all right there. So not too bad if you can get those, but since it's like a 2 times 10 times on Ancients, you're probably not wanting to pull voids. But again, this is the technical breakdown side for Champ Chase tournament. Now let's move over to the available events, maybe. And what do we have here? We have a slow internet connection and a painful Polarium. Probably doing an update right now. Okay, Dungeon Divers event started yesterday as well, and as you can see, their new standard, at least as of late, 3,700 points to either get your fragments and, or in this case, your rare. How to win these is pretty typical here. If you're like most, hopefully you're farming stage 20 or higher on any dungeon, and you're going to get anywhere from 7 points up to 25, depending on if it's a common to a mythical. So most people are going to get this 10 point to above on 5-star, or 15 point up to 25 there, unless you are farming campaign, and then you're going to get this upper little quadrant here. Not very often do you get a 3-star rare, which is an 8 point. Most likely you're getting 5 points or so here for, actually, it depends. I want to say 3 stars a lot, so maybe, yeah, you're not getting the 1-star, sorry. My bad, let me correct. You're usually getting 3-star up to 5-star, maybe rare. So maximum of 10 points. But generally you're going to get a common or uncommon 4-star or 3-star, so you're probably right around the 6 point range there if you're farming campaign. Again, they need to rename this to Gear Grind instead of Dungeon Divers. But let's back out of here. Champ Training Event just started as well. And let's see here. Here we are at 6,100 points for the rare. I'm trying to think. It's probably about in the average price range that they have been putting the rewards during these fusions lately. How do you get here? You just a point per every level, depending on whether it's a 6-star champion you're leveling up or a 1 or 2-star here. And then, of course, points for ranking them up to the next level there. So going from 5 to 6 is 300. And that is the technical breakdown for now. Day 3 of the Wixwell Fusion, and we have been blessed with Classic Arena today, to where, of course, you can see not too hard depending on where you are at with your account. In game, not too bad. Anyway, your standard 390 points this particular time to get the rare, and should be the same. Yes, 14 points for every win in platinum, 13 for every win in gold, and it just goes down from there. So that is standard there. And then the other addition today is artifact enhancement. 4,775 points again gets you the rare. If you do everything to this point, you should have 6 rares, but looks pretty, I think, standard there. Yeah, 340 points for 6-star upgrading, and everything else looks about the same. So what do we got? 418 points to go from 1 to 16 there on 6-star. So that looks pretty typical there as well. And that is it for the technical breakdown on day 3. All right, so coming towards the end of day 6 here, and what got added on was Ice Golem, and already did it, but again, standard Ice Golem. To get the rare, you needed 2,250 points there to reach that threshold. Still the standard points here for whatever level artifact, and then the bonus points for the rarity of that artifact. And that is still, like I said, standard. And then what else was added on was an event, which was the second Dungeon Divers event here. And again, 3,700 points to get the rare. If you got all of them, including this one up to this point, you should have 8 rares, or some combination of the 8 rares or 2 of the epics there. And again, how to get the points here, basically getting the gear here. You can see it's just a standard point thing, but the points are lower than during the actual event. Like, you know, the actual Ice Golem event, you're going to get more points for that event than you will get for the Dungeon Divers. Anyway, that is where we stand as of right now. Here we are, day 7 of the Wixwell Fusion, and what has been added. If the internet won't take forever here, we have Fire Knight now, and again, 2,250 is the point threshold to get a rare, and this is loading forever, so we'll just go to info here, and your typical points for getting artifacts here, and then your typical bonus based on the rarity. So nothing has changed there with the Fire Knight. Champ Training has been added. This is a tournament, so books and ascensions do help. And so 6,350 is the threshold here for, again, the rare. And so standard 1 point for 1-star and 2-star. So standard points here, basically across the board as far as upgrading levels. Standard here as far as upgrading ranks. Ascension, still the same as it's been for quite some time, and again, for using tomes. So nothing too crazy out of the norm here. And then what has been added? Artifact enhancement, which I blazed through. 4775, again, to get the rare. And where is it? Of course, down here, standard points for upgrading your equipment. And then that is it so far. We have Summon Rush and Dungeon Diver starting tomorrow. So I'm trying to get a little champ training done today and concentrate on Fire Knight for tomorrow, and then probably go back to champ training. Anyway, that's where we stand as far as the technical review goes for the Wixwell Fusion to this point. So here we are on day 9, and Dungeon Divers has been added. This is Dungeon Diver event number 3, and per usual, 3,700 points, which has been kind of the standard for quite some time now. Here is what lands you the rare, and again, nothing's changed. Here's your points, anywhere from 3 points to a 1-star common, up to 25 points for a 6-star mythical. And then we move over to the Summon Rush. In the Summon Rush, we have 2,700 for the rare and 5,400 for the epic there. Standard 500 points, 200, 120. I believe I want to say they upped this up to 20 from 10, but anyway. And then 1 point. I did this a little while back, so this is pretty standard nowadays. Anyway, the one thing of note, the 5,400 has been a benchmark for the epic for quite a few number of fusions here, but they have ripped us off, and 2,700 is a sacred and then some higher, because normally 2,150 has been the benchmark for the rare over the last couple of fusions that were like this one. But there you go. That is the technical breakdown for the new events. If you were not lucky enough to get this epic at this point and finish everything else that's currently on the board, which is, of course, obviously the Summon Rush, the Artifact Enhancement, Dungeon Diver 3, Fire Knight, and Champ Training, you should have 4 copies of Hardwin, or whatever her name is, and you can fuse Wixwell if you want. Alright, so let's bring this home all together here, as we are in the final stretch for the Wixwell Fusion. So, Classic Arena has come on. This is the second one. Already finished it, but your standard 390 points to get your rare, and everything is still the same here as far as points wise on how many fights you need to make those points up. And then our last dungeon, 2250, again the standard for all dungeons there to get the rare here, and again based on the level, your points here, and then based on the rarity, bonus points here for the spider tournament. That closes that out, and then I believe what do we have left here? We discussed Summon Rush, we discussed Dungeon Divers, and the third artifact enhancement to close it all off is your standard 4775 point mark to get the 16th rare, and still standard stuff there as far as points go for leveling up 5, 6, whatever. Hopefully you're not leveling up too much 4 stars, and you're not leveling up any 1, 2, or 3, or you're probably too new into the game to even be doing a fusion right now, especially one of this magnitude, because you have to rank up these rares, ascend them, convert them, rank up and ascend the epics to fuse into the legendary. And that is it. So about the only thing out of the norm is they bumped up the Summon Rush from the standard 2150 points, and that has been standard as long as I've been tracking. That goes all the way back to Walking Tomb Drang, which is like 2 years ago. That was the standard to get the rare, and they moved that up to 2700, so that's a little more than one sacred more points wise. The 5400, that has been going on since the Newt Fusion. Of course, there was just Newt and Bambus, but before that it was 4925, so they jumped that up by one sacred as well. But hopefully that's the threshold they stay at. Who knows? Raid keeps increasing it, but it depends on what new modes they give and how often you can get some of these resources. Anyway, that is the technical breakdown for Wixwell. Just keep that in mind when you want to compare later on. Have a nice day.